Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. How are you doing today? Hope everything is going well for you. Sunday afternoon here. Um, Mike is still in Arkansas. I just talked to him not that long ago and they hadn't quite left yet. The car was packed up, but they hadn't left yet. We just got back from church and we had to help Beth pick up Ryan, who's with Mike right now in Arkansas. His truck was at the shop, so we had to kind of caravan over and pick it up and caravan back to my truck in town. And we just got back, and I had to re-upload. I had to fix something in my video for today, and I had to re-upload it, and so it's doing that right now. And hopefully, everything goes well. Had a little bit of a scare this weekend, guys. I actually had a couple of them. I had mentioned that Nash wasn't feeling super great. She was kind of lethargic and sort of acting funny. And if you guys remember, I had just taken her to the vet to get some shots, and in particular, her rabies shot. And I had them check her, do a fecal test to make sure that she didn't have any parasites because she is very thin. She that's just her nature. She is just thin. Her mom is the same way. Her Kusi sort of takes after his dad more, and she definitely takes more after her mom, both physically and temperament wise. um but it was a little bit of a concern. Hey, Bunk. A little bit of a concern because she's just so tiny, and she was the runt of the litter, so she was already like a third of Kusi's size from day one, and then she's just never really filled out. And so when people look at her, she looks like she's super skinny because certain angles you could like count her ribs, but she has the same access to food. In fact, I give her extra um, over Kusi because I'm trying to get her to eat more. She's just not a big eater, but she plays and runs around and whatever. Well, anyway, after the shot, she got a little lethargic, and I was keeping an eye on her. And then she just went downhill really fast. On, let's see, it would have been Thursday. No, that's not right. Friday afternoon. I had separated her a little bit, was kind of keeping an eye on her. And then I physically saw her drink water Friday afternoon. But that was the last time I saw her urinate or drink. And then on Saturday morning, when I checked her to get her up, her nose was bone dry. Um, she had a small little puddle of really wrong looking diarrhea and was super lethargic and looked like she had lost 5 pounds overnight. Just all of a sudden looked really sunken in and not good. And I thought, oh, shoot, I'm about to have this little girl die on me. And so, I physically assessed her first, and I called the vet, which they happened to have their Saturday clinic, and just touched base with them. And I said, look, for those of you who don't know, I do have a background in pharmacy. And so I know my drugs and I know reactions. And so I'm like, she's having a severe reaction to her shots. And the vet wasn't really concerned. And I said, look, she's not. And I had tried to give her water and she threw that up. And she would not eat. So I went in and immediately started a pot of plain white rice, but I made it more soupy, more like lugao, if you know what that is. It's like a rice porridge, but it's just super plain and watery a little bit. Um, and so I made that for her. And so while that was cooking, I obviously kept her separated, and was kind of just trying to, get her to drink some more water. And I was able to finally later in the day get her to drink some water that I had to kind of feed to her. And she kept it down. And then later that evening, she was able to urinate, and her nose was getting moist again. So I was like, okay. And she was pepping up, and I was like, okay. And then I got her to eat a little bit of rice this morning. So she's doing better. I'm actually walking over here to check on her right now. But I was concerned on Saturday. I thought, oh shoot, we're gonna have to go to the emergency room. vet in Tupelo, you know, because the vet even said, she's like, well, you know, that's not a reaction from a vaccine. A reaction from a vaccine is, you know, within 15 to 20 minutes and it's hives. And I said, well, yes, unless it's a severe reaction and then they have nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, and lethargy and all of that. And I said, she has all of that. So, but they still seemed unconcerned. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking if I can't get her to get some water in her, she will be dead by Monday morning, because that will have been, you know, with her. If it was Kusi, you know, he's a thick boy. He's healthy, thick. You know, he would last longer if he was to get some kind of sickness or reaction. She is just a little bit more frail as the runt, and it's just taking her longer. You know, it's going to take her, you know, hit her harder, faster, in other words. So that was my whole concern. So anyway, I continued to kind of hand feed her water with a, you know, a oral drenching syringe, and got her to, you know, lick the water up. So I just kept refilling the syringe as long as she would do it, and let her, you know, lap it up, because she wouldn't come over to the syringe and drink it. And so that was a problem. And so yeah, I guess I was a little surprised that the vet was as nonchalant about the whole thing. um you know, I really was. I don't know, to me I would have been like, I was concerned. I was like, is she gonna make it? Like, this is bad. But it seems to be passing, and she seems to be okay. In fact, she's probably in there sleeping right now. I'll pop it. I don't know if I'm gonna try to do it while I'm holding this, because the goats are all over at the gate now. Um, but yeah, definitely was concerned about her, and I just kept checking on her constantly, and you know, making sure she was okay. And then Saturday, you know, I had been so excited on Saturday that we were gonna have like a girls' day. We were gonna watch cheesy Christmas movies, maybe a scary movie, and I was gonna make loaded baked potato soup. We were gonna have also. I did make the soup, um, but I ended up having to work on Sunday's video so much more. We finished filming. I didn't get to bed till probably 2 in the morning, Friday night, from between all the things that I had to do that day and filming. And so then I had to finish. I had only edited about half the video, so I had to finish working on that. And so I didn't finish being stuck in the matrix in between checking on Nash and keeping an eye on her until 4:30 Saturday afternoon. And even then, I still had to run up and you know, get the video uploading and doing all that a few times. And so I didn't get to spend the time with Frankie that I was hoping to on Saturday. I was a little bummed about that. Well, more than a little bummed. And then I also didn't get like hardly any sleep, because I was up late Friday night, got up at my normal time Saturday. Well, not quite my normal time. I slept in a little bit. I got up at like 6:30 and started my day. But I just, you know, I feel like my eyes are like this, because I didn't stay up super late last night. Um, but you know, I think, well, I did start dozing on the couch during the movie, so I probably actually, you know, went to bed around 10:30. And Frankie kept saying, wake up, we're watching the movie, wake up. And I kept dozing, and I was like, I'm sorry, kiddo, I just didn't get enough sleep yesterday. And I had planned to sleep in on Saturday, but I knew I had to finish editing, and I was going to try to get it done by noon, and that didn't happen. And so anyway, it was just, yeah, Saturday didn't go as planned, but that's okay. Sometimes, you know, things don't go the way we want or the way we planned, and that's just life. So, Mike should be probably, they had loaded up the car. They should be probably leaving here shortly, if they haven't already, since I've been here chatting with you guys. And then Frankie and I are gonna, I had to load my video because there was an issue with it. So like I said, once that's done, and I finish checking on everybody out here, Frankie and I are gonna watch a movie this afternoon, try to make up for a little bit of the time we lost yesterday, and kind of cuddle on the couch until we have to be back at church. And then Mike will probably get home late tonight, I imagine. I'll check kind of where he's at around 5 o'clock and see. But there's a new, we've kind of been in a soup mood. I made that loaded baked potato soup yesterday, and in the crock pot, and I made bacon to go on top and everything, and so that was nice. But then and it turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. But I didn't make as much of it as I thought I was making, and so there's only a little bit left, and I told Mike I would save it for him for when he got home if he wanted it. um, and so we didn't do Sunday lunch today because half the people were out of town, and then we were gonna go into town with Beth and her daughter and go have lunch after we did the thing with getting her truck back. But I had to get home to finish uploading, to re-upload the video. So I was like, I can't go to lunch with you guys. I got to get home and get that started so the video can be uploaded on time, or post, I should say, on time after uploading again. Anyway, so I told Frankie there's not enough left over for dinner tonight. So, and she was craving this soup at this restaurant in town. So I was like, well, we'll get some of that soup to go. It's like a chicken soup, but it's like a real fresh Mexican style chicken soup. It's not like chicken tortilla soup or anything, and it is amazing. So we're gonna get a couple big old bowls of that and have that tonight when we get home from packing pantry boxes at church. So I am looking forward to that, and getting to bed early, because I did not get the sleep this weekend while Mike was gone that I thought I was gonna get. So I feel like my eyes are just so puffy, and I feel sleep deprived. So yeah, but it's all good. So like I said, I'm glad, we made it through the worst here with Nash, and I'm like I said, I'm about to go in there and check on her again and make sure she's kosher. But yeah, I'm glad that things are going well and that she seems to be on the mend. Still keeping a close eye on her and keeping her separate, but that was a scare for me. I was really worried there for a minute that she wasn't gonna make it, because I've nursed animals back to health. I've nursed them through sickness many times, all different kinds of animals, whether it was birds, goats, sheep. There's been times where I'm like, oh, this one's on the verge. And this was like, at one point I walked in there and she was laying down and I thought she was already dead. And so I'm glad that, I did all the things and she's on the mend, which is good. But anyway, guys, keep little Nash in your prayers, that she continues to recover and do well. So I appreciate that. And I hope you guys are enjoying this amazing fall weather. We're just having a beautiful couple of days. I wish I could have gotten outside and enjoyed it more yesterday, but because yesterday was really beautiful. But we'll get after it this week. We'll get after it this week. We will. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you. As always, stay blessed and safety thoughts.